Toronto is facing a pre-construction meltdown. Developers are stalling, projects are getting cancelled, and buyers who put down six-figure deposit are left asking, will my condo ever get built? In today's video, we are breaking down exactly why this is happening, which projects are most at risk, and what this means for anyone thinking about buying a pre-construction in 2025, which is very few people out there. So let's check it out why pre-construction was very popular back in the days. So for years, pre-construction condos were one of the hottest investment in Toronto. Buyer loved them because of so many factors, out of which the number one thing is that you could buy with a deposit structure, usually 15 to 20 years spread over years. Also, you don't need a mortgage until closing. That gives times to all the investors out there. And everyone assumed that prices would keep climbing, which was not the case. So between 2015 and 2021, that bet paid off. Prices doubled in some areas. Developers sold out buildings before shovel even hit the ground, and buyers felt like they couldn't lose. But fast forward to 2024 and 2025, the picture is completely different. Construction costs skyrocketed to 40 to 50% in just a couple of years. Developer finance with short-term loans at today's rate, their costs have exploded because of the interest rate. Everyone knows like what happened to the interest rate in past couple of years. And a pre-sales slowdown. Now investors aren't lining up anymore. Sales office are quiet because of the rental number out there. The rental demand is not that great based on the past couple of years data. And here's the ugly truth. Like some developers are realizing it's cheaper to cancel projects and refund deposit than to actually build them. Now let's look at some of the real world cases. Now everyone know what happened last year is that State View Homes, that's an actual case by the way, declared insolvency in 2024, leaving dozens of buyers stranded. If you don't know about it, I will link that article in the bottom. There are so many small and mid-sized builders across GTA quietly stalling launches, refunding deposits, or trying to renegotiate with the buyers right now. If you check out this article over here, it says 60 GTHA condo project on hold indefinitely as developers pull back dramatically. Now, based on this article, there are roughly over 21,500 units who are affected based on this one. And if you see a condo life cycle, it might not show effect as soon as like currently in the next year, but it will show this effect back, I would say 2028 and 2029, where there might be a shortage of condo. And for every headline cancellation, there are dozens of projects sitting in limbo. Holes in the ground, no cranes, no progress. Buyers who thought that they would be moving in their 2026 condo may not even see until 2028, if ever. Now let's check out how developer actually finance a project. Now here's something most buyers don't realize. Developers don't have all the money to build. They rely on pre-sales. They need to sell 70 to 80% of the units before banks will lend them for construction financing. And most of the time, the activity that we are seeing in terms of pre-sale, it's not happening right now. Then the other obvious ways is to go with a private lender. When banks won't touch it, they go to a high interest private one. And what this does is that it costs developers so much, it blows up the project basically. And most of the time, developers are squeezed in terms of margin. And that's when sales slow down or financing cost spikes, developer get trapped. And instead of finishing projects, some prefer to walk away. So let's check out what does this mean for you if you are a buyer. So let's break it down. The very first one in this one is the deposit risk. Now, most developers hold deposit into a trust, so technically you get it back, but it could take months, even years, if things go legal. And not all the time you may get all the deposit. I would highly recommend if you have bought a pre-construction unit or planning to buy a pre-construction unit, check out Terion warranty. That does not only help buyers after you take possession, but also before taking possession in terms of deposit protection. The other thing not many people talk about is the lost time. If you bought in 2021 expecting a 2025 move in, now you are 4 year older and prices, interest rate, and rents have shifted, and time is definitely lost. The other thing is the lost opportunity. That $80,000 deposit could have been invested elsewhere rather than in the mortgage or rather than in the condo that you might not be getting for more few years. The other thing is the mortgage shock. If your unit does finish, you may be closing into higher interest rate than what most of the people out there planned for. The financial and emotional cost of delays or cancellation is huge in this case, especially in the pre-construction market. Let's talk about some of the risks that nobody talks about. The very first one in this one is the assignment risk. If you want to sell before closing, buyers are scared in today's market. Even if you have assignment condition in your contract, there are not many buyers out there who will purchase your property, especially at the prices that most of the buyers have paid for. The second one in this one is the developer insolvency. If the company goes bankrupt, you could be tied up into litigations. And there is always a construction delay like material, labor strike, or financing problems add many years to the project. Other thing that many people are facing right now who have their closing coming up is the value gap at closing. Now, buyer expecting a $800,000 appraisal may find their unit only valued at $700,000 and lender won't cover that difference. And in most of the scenarios, this gap is so much high that buyers sometimes decide to walk away from the project. If you're someone who already have a pre-construction, check out this video over here, how buyers are walking away from the project to get a better idea. So Toronto has a long dependent on pre-construction condo to supply housing. Now, if developer keeps canceling or delaying projects, the city faces a real problem over here. Supply will shrink, driving up a resale prices, and this is something what we are seeing in today's market. Not all the condos are selling. If you have especially a smaller condo, then definitely it's a tough time to sell smaller condo. But if it's a good size condo in a decent neighborhood, most of the time if it's priced well, it will go. And the other thing is happening is the trust in pre-construction is eroding, making future projects harder to sell, and buyers both local and international lose confidence in this market. Now we are at a crossroad. Either government step in with incentives or we are going to see a prolonged slowdown in the new housing starts. So if you're thinking about buying a pre-construction in 2025, my advice is to do the research, check the developer track record, and always understand what are the risks you may have when buying a pre-construction. In Toronto condo market isn't dead. It's going through a major shakeup. The question is who will survive? Now, if you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like and subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.